My name's Madis. It's good to be back with you again. As some of you know, I recorded a series of videos, a little over 6 years ago with Jet City Music here in Seattle, and they published these videos. Unfortunately, they only published 3 of my Rolling E Blues series, and I think I recorded about 8 with them. And so I decided that I would pick up and do this myself because I'd received a lot of requests from you to continue this series on the Rolling E Blues. So we're going to pick up where we left off in phase 3 a number of years back, and I'm going to show you some more things that you can do today on that Rolling E Blues. Now remember, we're just working on this 12-bar blues, this Piedmont style blues in E. Okay, so you notice that I was playing what we call an E7th chord here, which we talked about in the last lesson. One thing I didn't mention was that when I go down a half step, keeping my E as a bass here on the 4th string, that when I go down a half step, I'm playing an E diminished 7th. So it's not an E flat, but instead of E diminished 7th when we do that. So when you get this, that's what I'm doing, okay? And then the next thing you probably noticed me doing was coming up here and playing this. Okay, now what this is an E9th chord, and I could have played an E7th here. An E9th chord, which is commonly made like this, or even like this by a lot of players, and you've seen me play it like this with my thumb type thing. It can be played either with the thumb, in which case you would do an alternating bass between 5 and 4 and 6 and 4. In other words, 5th, 4th, 6th, and 4th strings. In other words, I could go in the Merle Travis style. Or you could just, because it's E, we could just go ahead and alternate between an open E and the 4th string like this. Which is what I kind of opt to do for a little bit more of a thick tone. And so when I get up here, I have a number of different options that I can take care of with that E chord. Okay, one of them is just play that E chord by itself, the E9th chord right by itself. Another thing is to add the little finger here to the 9th fret and add this C sharp in here and make this an E13th chord. Now if you bring the little finger up one more fret, it seems like a stretch, but it's not too bad because your thumb doesn't need to be locked down here. Then you can also double this 7th. So that's a 7th, the 6th, which makes it a 13th, and back to the E9. So those are just some things you can do in that location. So when I came here and I did this, from there I could do other things, okay, and we'll talk about that more later. We'll utilize that more later. The next chord you saw me to do was the A13th chord, which was this one. Now what this is a lot of times people will learn this chord with this kind of a voicing. You know, played on the 6th, 4th, 3rd, 1st, and 2nd strings. But because you're playing the chord in A, you don't need to fret this A when you have this open A here. So I could form the chord like this, with the index finger on the 4th string, 5th fret, 2nd finger on the 3rd string, 6th fret, and the little finger, of course, on both the 1st and 2nd strings on the 7th fret. I like this a lot. And you can alternate still between 5/4 and 6/4 for this. Now, what we need to do is make a transition down to, back down to the E. So what I like to use is a 7th, sharp 5, flat 9. Now, don't let that chord's name intimidate you. It's a simple chord to make. Okay, played on the 5th fret for the 4th string and the 6th fret for the 3rd, 2nd, 1st strings with the A and the bass. So that's what I'm using there. So again, what I've got here is this. or I can Merle Travis it like this. And then we're going to come right up here to this E ninth and play the 13th and the 7th like I was doing. Okay? And then from there, what's the closest B? 7th. Right here at the 7th fret, right? A barred B7th chord. We're going to alternate between the 6th and 4th strings. And we're going to basically do like we did on the rolling E, but we're going to make it a rolling B, 7th here. So we're going to go and do the same thing 2 frets down for the A, and essentially make a rolling A7th. Okay, hit the low E, and do your turnaround, and tag. So let's look at that one more time, from the B to the A to the tag. Okay, so. Okay, so here is what I just taught you. We could think of this as phase 4, and we're going to do this nice and slowly, okay? Here we go. Okay, so next time I'm going to take it further up the neck and show you some more variations. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you later.